I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Villa Park Village Board. Today is September 23rd at 7 p.m. Clerk Kornecki, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Trustee Salella.
Here.
Trustee Kazone.
Here.
Trustee Murphy. Here. Trustee Patrick.
Here.
Trustee Tucker.
Here.
Trustee Wagner.
Here.
President Volpus.
Here. Let's all raise for the pledge, and then please remain standing for a short prayer from Trustee Wagner. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Wagner has a prayer for us.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that might affect the residents, staff, businesses, surrounding communities, and all those that enter the village of Villa Park. And continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comments on agenda items. Does anyone from the public have any comments on any of the items on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to the amendments to the agenda. Do we have any board members have any amendments to the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the next item. We're going to make a little change here. Adam from the Pride Commission is going to give us a little thing about the pause on the path.
Hi, Adam Hudson, Pride Commission. Yeah, so the event was on Saturday, went from 10 to 2. We had on average about 62 people per hour. It kind of like it started sort of small and went big and then went small again. Highlights, in my opinion, I thought the pup truck food vendor, I thought that was fun. It was just a food truck for dogs. I did not know they did that. I thought that was fun. Some other things was that there was 16 participants, vendors. There were 7 animal rescues and 9 vendors. 5 confirmed adoptions and 4 pending adoptions as of Saturday. We gave out about 100 doggy goodie bags that were given to us by Rough Life in Lombard. To attendees that brought their dogs, who brought their dogs with them. People who came out, they were either looking to adopt a dog now, or they just simply ran into it because it was right off the path. But it was a beautiful day, a lot of fun. It was fun watching the dogs play, and we had some pools that the dogs played in, and one was like really timid about putting his paw in the water. It was funny. So.
Okay.
I thought it was a grand success.
Thank you for doing that. Thank your commission for that too. Appreciate it.
Sure.
So, it's always good to hear that you have some adoptions. So, good. Okay, we'll move on. I got a couple of proclamations here I'm going to read. The first one is a proclamation on the National Rail Safety Week. Whereas 2,214 rail grade crossing collisions result in 819 personal injuries, and we're responsible for 270 fatalities in the United States during 2018. And whereas 1,050 trespassing incidents have occurred in the United States, resulting in 571 pedestrians being killed and another 479 injured while trespassing on railroad property right-of-ways during 2018. And whereas educating and informing the public about rail safety, reminding the public that railroad rights-of-way are private property, enhancing public awareness for the dangers associated with highway rail grade crossings, ensuring pedestrians and motorists are looking and listening near railways, and obeying established traffic laws will reduce the number of fatalities and injuries. And whereas the International Association of Chiefs of Police, National Operation Lifesaver, and the United States Department of Transportation, and all local, state, county, and railroad law enforcement officers, first responders, and railroad corporations committed to partnering together in an effort to educate at a national level all aspects of railroad safety and to enforce applicable laws in the support of National Rail Safety Week. I, therefore, Albert Baltais, Village President of Villa Park, do hereby attest my full support proclaiming September 22nd through 28th, 2019 as National Rail Safety Week and encourage all citizens to recognize the importance of rail safety education. And I have one here for Fire Prevention Week, whereas the Village of Villa Park is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting our community. And whereas the National Fire Protection Association reports that home fires killed 2,630 people in the United States in 2017, and that fire departments in the United States respond to 357,000 home fires. Whereas residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas residents should make and practice a home escape plan, drawing a map for each level of their home that shows all doors and windows. And whereas the 2019 Fire Prevention Week theme, Not Every Hero Wears a Cape, plan and practice your escape, effectively serves to remind us that we need to take personal steps to increase our safety from fire. Now, therefore, I, Albert Baltais, Village President of Villa Park, do hereby proclaim October 6th through 12th, 2019, as Fire Prevention Week throughout the village. I urge all citizens to be aware of their surroundings, look for available ways out in the event of a fire or other emergency, respond to smoke alarm sounds by exiting the building immediately, and support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Villa Park Fire Department during Fire Prevention Week. And we have a member of the Fire Department here to bring us a little bit of information on their activities in the Fire Prevention Week.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Blaise Clarendon. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the Public Education Specialist with the Villa Park Fire Department. On behalf of the Fire Chief, Chief Rakosnik, and the Villa Park Fire Department, I would like to thank you all for your proclamation of Fire Prevention Week. On Saturday, October 12th, the Fire Department will hold our annual open house event. This event will take place at Station 81 down at 1440 South Ardmore. It runs from noon to 3 p.m. We have a wide variety of activities planned. Families can come and enjoy some of our classics like the smoke trailer and the puppet show, and also some new events that we're going to have. This year we're introducing a Kids Firefighter Combat Challenge. Kind of give the kids a little bit of an idea of what we're doing. As always, we'll conclude the event with our famous live fire and flashover simulation. I would like to formally invite the entire board and the entire village of Villa Park to come join us on October 12th from noon to 3 p.m. If there's any questions, I can answer them now. Otherwise, I would just like to personally thank the fire department and the board for your continued commitment to fire safety and public education.
Well, I thank you for your service to the community, and I too want to encourage residents to please have an escape plan. I know I have one for my house. When my kids were growing up, we had to, show them ways to get out of the house and where to gather after they get out, so we know where everybody is and everybody's okay. Very important to do. So appreciate that. Anyone else have any comments? Okay. Thank you very much. We'll see you on October 12th. Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the 2020 Budget Policy Review. So we'll hand that over to the manager, Keener, or maybe Kevin Wacko, seeing he's the treasurer, so finance guy.
Good evening. Tonight we're bringing before you a review of some of the budgetary policies that we are utilizing as we are preparing the 2020 budget. The village board members have not seen the budget yet. The staff is still putting together our initial drafts of the budget, and we have about a month or two long process where we go through all of that based on guidance and feedback that we get from the village board, and we present to you a budget in about a month or so that will be discussed later on in November and adopted before the end of the year. As time goes on, we take input from things like when we have our bond rating review. We get feedback from the bond rating agency about things that we can do to improve how we operate financially. We get good marks in a lot of ways. We do make suggestions and we make modifications to our practices. In response to those remarks, you've seen some changes in our monthly reports that we send to you, and some of that is based on feedback that we get from them and other sources to improve the way we are preparing and presenting information. One of those things was to present the budget policies before the village board and have a conversation about it. We've had this in our budget document for many years. We present it there. You all see it and have some for the past several years, and those really have not changed significantly or appreciably over the past several years. We thought we'd take an opportunity to have a brief discussion on what our budgetary policies are as we are preparing the budget, so when you get that, it meets those particular objectives. So I just wanted to take a minute to go through them, and we really have about 5 identified budget policies per se, and this is under the bigger umbrella of financial policies. So we're just going to talk about the budgetary policies that we present to you. The first one, I think, is probably the most important guiding principle, is that the village staff will present to you a balanced budget. That means revenues and fund balance will cover all expenses that are presented within the budget. So we have a balanced financial plan. We maintain a fund balance. We do have a fund balance policy, but we keep the fund balance policy in mind as we are preparing the budget. Each year we calculate what our fund balance, or our number of days fund balance that we have on hand, and we present that in the budget. Last year we had the budget plan would end up with about 129 days of fund balance on hand. That gets changed every year based on the amount of fund balance that we have and also our daily operating expenses that we have in the general fund. For a number of years, actually for about 25 years or so, the village has utilized service goals. So each of the departments, when they're submitting their budget, they put together narratives of their operating, of each cost center and department that has service goals. It has goals and objectives. So we report on what we have done over the past year and what we are planning to do in each particular cost center over the next year. It's a good way for us to get focused on our long-term planning. What are we going to do over the next 12, 18, 24 months? So that's something that we've been utilizing and doing for quite some time, and it's a good way to keep us focused on the future. Policy number 4 is adhering to the financial management policies of the village. This is just to remind us that we do have overarching financial policies in a number of areas, as I mentioned, fund balance and that type of thing. These are really focused on by the bond rating agency, and the bond rating agency looks at a wide variety of different things. Some of those we don't have control over, like institutional framework. That's what the state laws, how we can operate under the state laws, or our local economy. But there are things that we can control. That's management, that's liquidity, budgetary flexibility, budgetary performance. Those types of things we do have flexibility. So when we're preparing the budget and we're performing the budget throughout the year, we're keeping these things in mind as we're making daily management decisions of the village. We also put together kind of a framework on how we estimate revenues. We try to do our revenue estimates based on known information. We get projections from the Illinois Municipal League for things like income tax and motor fuel tax. So we have some known information, but some things we don't know. So we use conservative growth estimates when we can, but we use known information, things like we know that our water usage is declining, utility tax revenue is declining, and that's a long-term trend. So we utilize that information and we budget in that manner to continue those types of trends. So when we're projecting our budgets, our revenue in our budgets, we're utilizing those long-term trends. We're continuing those trends based on that historical information, known information, or from outside sources that we have. So that's kind of a really brief snapshot of our budgetary policies. I'd be happy to answer questions that you would have about the budgetary policies or anything that we have going on in this regard as well.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes, I appreciated getting this document. It was a very valuable thing to have. The issue I want to address is the fund balance. So the goal is 90 days, but we had 129 days. So I guess my question is, at what point do we, and it's very comforting to have that significance of a fund balance, but obviously there are pressing needs in the village to address pensions, possible rec center. At what point is a fund balance too high? I mean, at some point, residents are going to say, well, you got a fund balance that's 200 days, that maybe we should be thinking about a tax rebate, or maybe we should use it to address some of our pressing needs. So where's the fine line there?
That's a great question, and we've talked to our the rating agency folks about issues such as that. One of the things they give us high marks on is our strong budgetary performance and our high liquidity. And the liquidity is the cash that we have on hand so that we can make, if we had an emergency situation, a big storm, we had to have a major cleanup and or something along those lines. We have money available to make that budgetary adjustment to actually respond in an emergency situation. So they have not given us a specific, it has to be this, this percentage of your fund balance or this specific level. It really comes down to a level of comfort with how much fund balance do we have on hand. There's not a fine line in the sand. But I will say that one of the things that the bond rating folks look at is our liquidity and our budgetary flexibility. So that saves us money in the long run when we're borrowing dollars for our roads, for our storm sewers, those types of things, any of our borrowings. We've been rated AA, and it's a stable outlook, which is very good for a community our size in a non-home rule situation where we don't have the ability to raise our tax levy. That's a good rating for us to have, and that's based on some high marks with our budgetary framework, our budgetary flexibility, and our liquidity.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Manager Keener would like to add to that, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I know Kevin was probably thinking about this, but in 2011, in that fiscal year, the village had 47 days of surplus cash, and so since that time, we've built it up maybe to as much as 156. So now, when you read this, it's at 129, and so the swing right now is a downward swing due to many different things, and one of the major things is the unpredictability of the state of Illinois. And I've told staff, and when I explain to kids when they come into my office and they ask about budget questions, and I tell them, well, in 2011 we had 47 days, and do you know what that means? And some of the students would look at me and I'd say, well, after 47 days we don't have any money to pay to complete services for the Village of Villa Park. And then they kind of understand. But right now we're at about 129 and it's on a downward swing, and you say, why is that? Unpredictability of the state of Illinois, and sometimes we do dip into the reserves to accomplish goals and provide services to our residents. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'd just like to add to that, too. I was here on the board when we had the last recession in 08 and 09, and our fund balance got real low, and we laid off people in Public Works, did not hire replacements in the police department, didn't buy any new equipment. We had, we didn't buy any police cars. We didn't replace any public works equipment. We didn't replace any fire engines because we were cutting to the bone, trying to save every dime we could so we could make it through the recession. I don't want to have to go through that again. We're just working right now, catch up. On replacing the equipment that should have been done years ago, witness ones for the fire department and public works, and we got into another cycle now with replacing police cars on a regular basis, which we weren't doing, So, we'd have to replace the seats in the police car, even though it was just because they were worn out and the whole car was worn out, but we were still using them. So I'm comfortable with 129 days. And I know some people think that, we should be spending that money, but when you look at what happens, I was at a seminar this last week talking about the next recession is coming. We're well past the time for the next recession. And I think the village should be ready for that. And we were going over in that seminar, what's your plan? What are you going to do if revenues goes down 5%, 10%, 15%? Where are you going to cut? So I would try not to have to make some of those tough decisions again where we don't replace people when they leave, or we actually fire people and cut down on the size of staff. So that's my opinion on it. My comfort state right now is about where we're at. If something special comes up, we do have a little leverage if we decide there's a project that we didn't budget for and we would like to. So it gives us that flexibility. So, Trustee Murphy, I believe you had a question?
Yes. You mentioned that these policies have been in place for many years at this point. How are you feeling about them? Do you feel like they should be modified, added to, deleted from, or are you comfortable with them as they stand today?
These policies give us a good framework, a good direction when we're preparing the budget. This and things like the strategic plan process gives us a good direction as to what we should be including in the budget. We do have a number of other financial policies, and we know that we need to update a couple of those because of changes in accounting rules. And once we get a new auditor on board, our current auditor the term has expired on the contract, so we're looking for a new auditor. Once we have a new auditor on board, we will be using that auditor. We're going to ask for their help in updating a few of these accounting type policies. So we do have a wide range of financial policies that I think cover pretty much most of the things that we deal with on a daily basis, and these budget policies gives us some good direction.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Patrick.
I do, thank you. When was the last revision made to these policies?
These particular budget policies, they've been in the budget document as the guiding principle since I've been here. Minor tweaks just in the language, minor language, but generally, since I've been here at least, these have been pretty much in place as they are.
And then last question for you is regarding the emergency funds. Is there a recommended average or something that would say this is what we recommend having, how many emergency days in that account?
Sure. The only guiding principle that I'm aware of is through the GFOA, the Government Finance Officers Association, and they make a recommendation of a minimum of 3 months typically for governmental type funds. That all depends on the type of fund, the frequency of revenues that come in, and the reliability of those revenues. So if you have, for example, if you were an electric utility and you were getting monthly bills, then you could probably have a lower amount because you would be having consistent revenue coming in to cover your bills on a regular basis. When you have tax-supported funds like our general fund or most of our operations, where you have spikes of revenue that come in 2 times throughout the year. Now, we did change our fiscal year, so we start the year in January as opposed to starting it in May. So we've got January, February, March, April before we start to see a significant spike with our property tax our property tax revenue. So those are the kinds of gaps in our significant revenue spikes that we need to contemplate. So the minimum that the GFOA recommends is 90 days, is 3 months.
Okay, so we say 90 days is what the GFOA recommends, and we're saying that we have 129 right now.
That's the projected based on the 2019 budget.
Okay.
We can't.
So the difference between those two numbers then is basically if something happens, if there's an emergency, that we have that buffer to work with.
Right. If there was an emergency, then we would we would utilize some of those funds for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Trustee Kazone?
Just a couple of things. I noticed in a couple of reports, we said that the sales tax revenue was down quite significantly. Have you talked to like local surrounding towns? Is everybody's down, or is it just something that we're seeing, just like the beginning of a recession?
I've not talked to other towns. I do know that we've had some specific sales tax generating businesses that have closed shop. A Hobo up on North Avenue closed down, and that was unexpected when we had the budget, and so that's a particular concern that we have. We've had, when we changed our fiscal year, some of our comparability is not there because of the changing in the period in the start of the fiscal year. So we've had some challenges in some of that comparability. So we're doing our best to look at it on a monthly basis with a similar period to the prior year, and that's where we're starting to identify some of these issues. And I don't know that it's a national trend or a regional trend. It may be. We are starting to look at that type of thing, especially when we're looking at our budget at budget time. That's when we really focus on every specific line item throughout the budget to identify where are our issues, where are we performing better, where are we performing a little bit less than we expected at this point.
Okay, good. Regarding the property taxes, do you think the EAV increases are enough to offset some of those sales tax revenue, the losses?
No, our increases in EAV will not cover that. Yeah. The only time we would see an increase in our property tax revenue would be if a large development came online or the expiration of a TIF. Then that increases our taxable EAV by a large amount. And otherwise, even if the increases are based on CIP growth or changes in the market values, that doesn't change the amount of property tax revenue that we can receive, because the amount of revenue that we receive is capped across the village. Only when we have a new development of a big chunk of EAV that was previously not there would be an increase in that revenue.
And then one last thing, the Ovaltine TIF, that money won't be done till 21, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. Okay, good, that's it. Thank you.
Trustee Ciela?
I understand the water use is down. I understand unaccountable water due to our consistent replacement of water mains and whatnot. You also state that there's a lower sales point on private water. Is that due to people being more conscious about their water use, better metering of our water system?
Since for the past 15, 20 years, people are using more water efficient appliances, more water efficient nozzles in their shower, on their faucets, the toilets. All of that has an effect, not just on a personal, your household budget. You're using less water. Well, that's less water that is being used, and therefore that's less.
I was just wondering if we can attribute it to our new metering system that it's more accurate.
The new meter, when we replace meters, it absolutely is more accurate. We do that. The replacement of the meter, and please, Rich, correct me if I'm wrong, but the replacement of the meters does a better job of capturing the lost water. So if water would go through the meter, we wouldn't be billing for that. Now we are billing for that, so it's on the lost water side when the meters are replaced. That's helping our water system through less lost water or unbilled water.
Okay, thank you.
Look, Trustee Tucker?
Could I ask who the budget officer is?
He's retired here.
He retired a few months ago.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm wondering.
Yes.
So we don't have one at the moment, or is that correct?
That is correct. So the manager and I are kind of acting in that stead, and Public Works is working on the capital budget, and they have a significant significant part of the budget development process as well. So it's definitely a team effort.
Okay.
The only Oh, you have some more? Go ahead.
Yes, I had another question. Because we switched over to year-end in 2019, is that what's causing the difference? I noticed we had, in 2018, we had 146 days on, well, so because we switched over, it made a difference on what you're estimating for the end of 2019?
That becomes quite a challenge because the 8 months is not a comparable 8 months, because in that 8 months we have in addition to the 2 property tax receipts, we also have the entirety of our pension contributions for our public safety pensions, and so that overestimates or overinflates the monthly average, as it were. So that becomes very difficult to use a daily cost for the 8 months. So we pretty much scrapped the daily cost. What ended up happening was the denominator from FY18 to the budget that increased by a year's worth, and the fund balance itself was approximately flat over that entire period. So that's why the days of fund balance on hand is lower, is because the denominator in that equation is higher. So it costs more per day.
It was more inflated in 2018 because of the difference of it?
Well, if you're looking at SY18, that calculation I don't believe is
correct.
Is utilizing the 8-month number. It is utilizing the projected 2019 amount, the 2019 budget amount. So that's why I put in here that it's going to be updated, because this is a budget number from about a year ago, and a lot has happened since then. So once we have an updated budget, when we present this budget, whatever the number is that's the general fund total expenses for the year, that will be what is used to calculate the projected days fund balance on hand.
Okay. Last thing, on last Tuesday in December, you said the tax levy with Cook County has to be in. How is that determined? I mean,
state law.
Because it's state law, but I understand that. How is that determined for us if we're not actually done with the year? Or is that a levy from 2018
So
we're talking?
the property tax levy, so in December we will file the 2019 tax levy, and that attaches to the property for taxes due throughout the year of 2019. And that's what we will have our estimating resolution at the end of October, our second board meeting in October, where we will go through, this is what last year's levy was, actually the 2018 levy, and then we make adjustments to that based on CPI, pension contributions, debt payments, that type of thing. There will be an estimating resolution in October. There will be a public hearing, and then that will be considered for adoption in December. And that is technically the property for that amount of time. And I believe that we use the 2019 budget as the expenses that levy is funding, because we know that amount and we have that budget already. It's been approved and in hand, and we have planned for that property tax revenue in order to pay for those budgeted services.
So we're using, if I understand you correctly, we're using the 2019 budget, and then we're using what we're estimating for the property tax, or are we using a similarity from 2018 to get it close to it?
It's an estimate, but it's a very educated guess. We know our total property taxes that we will be able to collect. We know the increase amount that we will be able to collect. That's the CPI. That was determined last December, or actually last January, based on prior December. So we know that amount. And then we also estimate, we put a little estimate in our calculations when we're talking about the EAV growth, the new EAV. It is usually pretty small. It's usually less than 1%. So we usually put in about a 1 or 2% growth factor for the new EAV, unless we know we have something like a TIF rolling off. Then we will increase that by more. And we know that amount because we get reports from the county every year. So most of that information is pretty solid, and we pretty much know what we're going to see within a few percentage points.
Okay, so it's not like we're guessing it.
It's not a complete guess.
It's
No.
not a complete guess on it. We have pretty
Correct.
much running totals going on, so you're not
Yeah.
guessing on what we're going to.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
The only other thing I just thought of, the difference between the recommended minimum of 90 and the 129 which we have, we're just talking a month. Another extra month of reserves.
And that's part of the liquidity that the bond folks are talking about, is our
Right.
ability to have that money on hand.
Okay. Anyone else? Any more? Okay, thank you very
Thank
much. Thanks for all your work in that. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have on there is the bill listing for the weeks of September 9th and September 16th, 2019, in a total amount of $245,606.96. We have the minutes from the board meeting held on September 9th, 2019, and the minutes from the public hearing held on September 9th, 2019. Do I have a motion for the consent agenda?
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
Okay, Trustee Gazone, Trustee Wagner?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Any questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Volpus?
Yes. Okay, number 7A is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, establishing the holiday schedule and regular meeting dates for the Village Board of Trustees for the calendar year 2020. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Village Park Municipal Code contains various references to meetings and holidays. On an annual basis, the Board of Trustees establishes and approves a schedule of the meetings of the Village of Villa Park Board of Trustees, as well as the village's annual holiday schedule. Staff recommends that the President Board of Trustees pass a resolution to establish the holidays and meeting dates of the Villa Park Board of Trustees for the 2020 calendar year. Thank you, Your Honor.
And this is required by law. So, do I have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Do I have a second? Trustee
Second.
Patrick? Okay. Any questions, comments? None? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Volpus?
Yes, that passes. The next is 7B, is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing Halloween trick-or-treat hours. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Our village has historically passed by resolution a time and date for children to participate in Halloween trick-or-treating. By adoption of this resolution, a uniform time is recommended for the event, thereby allowing the police department to increase patrol for the purpose of protecting the children who are participating in the Halloween festivities. It is recommended the village board approve the official trick-or-treating hours of 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Thursday, October 31st, 2019. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for the resolution? Trustee
I'll make
Patrick?
that motion. Thank you.
Do we have a second? Trustee Murphy?
I'll second.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
President Volpus?
Yes. That passes. And the next one is 7C, is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an agreement for ambulance billing services between the Village of Villa Park and Paramedic Billing Services. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. In 2013, the village entered into an agreement with Paramedic Billing Services, also known as PBS, for ambulance billing services. Since that time, ambulance billing receipts have increased by over 20%. Staff recommends approving the attached resolution, which will extend the expiring agreement for an additional 3 years through September 2022. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for a resolution? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make that
Do I
motion.
have a second? Trustee Wagner?
I'll second that motion.
Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Tucker?
I would like to know how often we get into a collection agency involved in these. How often do they have to do that?
Manager Keener, do you know how often we go in a collection?
Your Honor, I think, if I remember correctly, that PBS tries to collect the invoices that are not paid several times before it goes through to the collection agency. So there are several attempts by PBS to collect that prior to turning it over to a collection agency.
But we don't have a percentage of That's what you're asking, the percentage?
Correct. I was wondering what the percentage is and what the percent would be on the result when it goes to the collection agency that we get the funds.
Yeah, we don't have that right now. We can get you that information tomorrow or Wednesday. Okay. But we have to call the paramedics. So, okay.
Okay.
Anything else? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes, that passes. And the next is 7D, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, rejecting all bids received for construction of the 2019 street improvement project. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village recently bid the 2019 street improvement project. The bids received were considerably higher than expected and exceeded the construction budget for the project. A formal rejection of all bids received is recommended. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Do I have a motion for the resolution to reject the bids? Trustee Wagner,
I'll make that motion.
do we have a second?
I'll second.
Murphy? I'll get it right yet. It's only been 3 months. Okay, any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker.
I have one question. Did we not have the engineer's estimate when we made that budget?
Manager Keener.
Yes, we did. However, several items came back that were more than the budget engineer's estimate, including, I think it's a disposal of the debris and the cost of asphalt. So from the packet information, I think all of you are aware that the bids came back in excess of $200,000 over engineer's estimate. And then additionally, within the 2019 street improvement project, we had Plymouth. And if you recall, in the capital bill passed this year, Plymouth was in the capital bill for $733,500. And so that's an additional reason to postpone the 2019 street improvement project until spring, because we could not get the capital bill altered. So we'll just say infrastructure instead of Plymouth. We did not want to leave $733,000 on the table by proceeding and doing Plymouth first without proceeding and following the established policies to take advantage of the funding in the capital bill. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Trustee Murphy.
So then will that make us a year behind on this street improvement project? Are we then skipping a month or a year and going into the next month and now we're a year behind?
Technically, probably, if you look at it that way, yes. But what we're going to do is we're going to combine the 2019 street improvement project with the 2020 street improvement project. And it's the hope of staff to probably go out in February for bid for both 2019 and 2020, which will put us someplace maybe around $3.2 million or so, more closer than $3 million than $4 million, and really make the bid quite attractive for some of the larger companies to accomplish that. And by doing that, that means that we would open the bid and award the contract, or you would, and then we'd start early summer, late spring on the 2019/2020 street improvement projects. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes, that passes. And next is 7E, is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a contract with A-Lamp Concrete Contractors, Inc. of Schaumburg, Illinois, for construction of the Astor, Myrtle, and Euclid Improvement Project in the amount not to exceed $2,434,983.88. Do I have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Wagner,
I'd like to make that motion.
do we have a second? Trustee Ciala?
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comment on this long overdue project? Trustee Tucker.
Yes, my question is this a new loan with the IEPA? Because it looks like we had a loan that we approved in 2018 for Astor with RJN, that we added the Euclid Kenilworth part to that one. on it, and that time we were using bond funds, and then we were going to do an IEPA fund on that account. It also looks like, I know the other one was a water and sanitation, a water population loan that we took out. I take it that's different for the Astor and Myrtle Improvement Project that we were doing combined sewer mains with that project. So is this a new one? Are we adding one more to this loan?
Yeah, this is a new one.
This is a new one we're adding to it.
Yes,
So this would be the third one for that project then?
there you go.
If
Yes.
I'm correct?
I
Okay.
believe it's, well, Manager Keener will clear that out for you.
Is it the
Seeing
third
that
or
I
the
didn't
fourth
have him
one?
read all this, so,
Well, actually, it's the fourth one, I think. We had one with, in 2017 also.
Thank you, Your Honor. For this particular project, I believe there's only one Illinois EPA loan for this particular project. And sometimes we pursue these Illinois EPA loans because you can get 2% financing interest over an 18 or 20-year term, and so they're very advantageous. And we have a number of these Illinois EPA loans. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Director Wachtel can correct me, but they're listed all in our CAFR at year end, how many IEPA loans we have and what projects they are, because we have to account for those. And then when we have to account for those, we have to make sure that we have 1.25 or 1.5 capital to put back in. So we have to have surplus to put back in and pay these loans. And they'll take a look at our wastewater funds, they'll take a look at our water funds to make sure that we have enough capital to repay these loans and continue operations internally and externally as well. Thank you, Your Honor.
So am I correct that we didn't actually go for it when we added, in 2018, when we added South Euclid, Kenilworth, the Central, and part to Highland, we didn't go for that IPA loan that we had mentioned?
Manager Keener?
Your Honor, we can follow up through our documents to kind of clarify that for Trustee Tucker, and maybe we can supply that information along with the PBS percentages as well tomorrow.
Okay. Anyone else, any questions? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Okay, Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes, that passes. And item 7F is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a contract with A-Lamp Concrete Contractors of Schaumburg, Illinois, for the 2019 pavement patching program in amount not to exceed $197,500. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. Staff proposes the completion of pavement patching on various village streets as a part of the 2019 pavement patching program. The project was publicly bid with 3 contractors submitting bids. It is recommended that a contract be awarded to A-Lamp Concrete Contractors, Inc. of Schaumburg, Illinois, in the amount of $197,500. Funds have been budgeted for this work in Street Improvement Fund account number 650202299. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Patrick?
I'd like to second that. Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Wagner?
Just a comment, I noticed that there's a section of Yale that's going to be taken care of adjacent to Madison, and I know my neighbors are pleased that it's going to happen.
I noticed that most of the repairs, though, are on north of St. Charles Road, which, you know, are dire need, and even the majority is even on the other side of the Union, on the railroad tracks. So, anyone else, any questions? Trustee Tucker.
Where's the extra funds going to come from?
The extra fund. Manager Keener.
Yes, Your Honor, they're budgeted within that particular fund account as well.
Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
President Bolfus?
Yes, it passes. And the next is 7G, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving the purchase of a video surveillance system for the police department in the amount of $36,854. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The police department maintains a booking room for processing prisoners, 4 jail cells which are used for secure detention of prisoners, an evidence processing room, and 5 evidence vaults for the storage of evidence and found property. These areas require a video surveillance system to ensure officer and prisoner safety, provide for accountability, and limit liability. Currently, the only camera located in any of these areas is in the booking room, which does not capture all areas of the room. Staff therefore recommends the purchase of a new server and 14 cameras to provide adequate coverage and video storage as required by law. All equipment is to be purchased from Current Technologies of Lombard, Illinois, in the amount of $36,854. Funds for this purchase have been allocated in the DUI Fund account number 1952001401 and Equipment Replacement Fund account number 6550202401. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Patrick?
I'd like to make that
Do you
motion.
have a second? Trustee Ciela? Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Tucker?
Were there any estimates taken, seeing we didn't do competitive bidding for it? Were there any estimates that went out on these?
Manager Keener?
That's a very good question, and I may have to turn this over to Chief Mike or Deputy Chief Dan, but Current Technologies has been a partner assisting with our network for over a decade, and we thought by using the Current Technologies for our network would be the best way to go. We had a concern of using another firm to gain access to our network, which is privately held, as I'm sure most of you are aware of the hackings that have been going on in Florida and Texas. So we've had some concerns, and CTC has been assisting our IT department for many, many years and has done a great job, and actually helps with all of our video cameras now throughout the village. Chief Mike or Deputy Chief Dan?
Basically, I can add that our IT manager, Brian Sawyer, and Deputy Chief McCann did extensive research in getting the best product that will work with the systems that we have in place for the best cost available. So that's why we continue to go with Current Technologies and the systems that they recommended and provide. It ties in with our current system already, so all the cameras will still be on the same system that we have, which will be provide much easier access and storage capabilities for us.
One more question.
Go ahead.
The vehicle cams and the body cams that you use, are they stored on a different server? Because you're saying you need a new one for this one. So is there not enough space for what we keep those for?
The squad car cameras are on a different system of their own. We don't have body cameras for the individual officers, so that is a different system, yes.
So it's a different system, so we don't actually keep them on a server, or are they kept on a different system server?
Different system.
Okay, so we can't actually use that server for this one? Is that correct?
Different technology, yes.
Manager Keener, do you want to add something?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. And what we've found, and I think many communities have found over the United States, is that video data takes up a lot of space. And by using this particular server, we'll virtualize this, and as the data and video take up storage, we can expand this particular server and do that over time. And the chief and I laid a document on your desk this evening for the Current Technologies. What was attached in your packets was an incorrect quote, and when I say that, the money's the same. It's just I want to call your attention to the top of the quote that you have on your desk this evening, which is the calculation is for 90 days storage. So that's law. We want to store all the videos for 90 days, and the server will have a 5-year warranty. So it's 36 and then a 24-month extension. But this is very specialized hardware specific for us to be housed within the police department. Not that I want to mention on live TV where the server's going to be housed. Probably shouldn't do that, Your Honor, but
It's a secure building.
yeah. Thank you, Your Honor. And
That's it? Yeah. Any other questions?
I
Trustee
do.
Patrick?
Chief, Trustee Tucker mentioned body cameras and that we do not utilize them right now. Do we have any ideas or plans going forward with equipping our officers with body cams? And if we do, will they be able to be utilized with this system as well?
We don't have any plans currently to go forward with those. If we did, we'd be doing so probably more so at the direction of the state's attorney's office. Very few communities in DuPage County have them at this time. And if we did have to go that route, we would most likely, at this time, go with the watch guard system because it would tie in directly with the video system that are in the squad cars already.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Trustee Wagner?
Thank you. Just one question. Well, first of all, who monitors the cameras?
They are monitoring the station.
They're monitoring the station, okay. And just one last question. What is a man trap?
So when we bring prisoners in, they come in through the Sally Port or the garage within the police department. There is a area where the officer will escort the prisoner in, a secure door, and it's a very small room, which then that will close so that they can't escape out that one before the other door is allowed to be open to get entry into the booking area.
Okay.
It's basically a man trap area, which does not have any surveillance right now.
Thank you, that's all I had.
You don't want to be in that room, Bob. I've looked at it through the window. It's pretty small. So, anyone else? Okay. Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Solella?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
President Wolfus?
Yes, that motion passes. We'll move now to the public comment on non-agenda items. Is there anyone signed up, Clerk Konecki?
Yes, Kevin Wachtel will talk about Lions Club.
Okay.
Good evening. I've got my Lions Club hat on,
Please
even though
state your name.
I don't have my...
Spell it for the record.
I was here a couple months ago to talk to you all and talk to the community about the Lions Club 50/50 raffle that we have going on. At that time, I said that we were going to be having the drawing this coming Friday, which we still are, still going. The raffle sales are going strong. We had guaranteed a minimum $1,000 jackpot. Well, I'm pleased to announce that that jackpot is well over $1,500 now, probably over $1,600. I'm hoping by the end of the football game on Friday night it'll be over $2,000. So just a reminder that the sales for the raffle, half of it goes to the winner, but the other half goes to Willowbrook High School students for scholarships, as well as Lions Club charitable efforts. So we've generated over $1,500 for students and for Lions Club charities. So if you're at the football game on Friday night, stop by the Lions Club table and buy some raffle tickets. You're supporting some good causes. So just want to let the folks know that we're over $1,500. So it's a very good place to be. We're very happy about that. So. Thank
you. Very good. Is any board members interested in buying any raffle tickets? So you can see Kevin after the meeting. So. Okay. Okay. Any other members of the public would have any comments on non-agenda items? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move down to the clerk's report.
Well, I just have one item, and I just want to mention that my fellow municipal clerk and longtime friend Patty Spencer, who served 4 terms, finishing 4th term as city clerk for Elmhurst, passed away last Friday. And it's very hard, hit us clerks very hard, because she was very involved in that, and other areas as well, was with Elmhurst Hospital. And she will be, if those who know Patty, she will be at Algrim Funeral Home. This Wednesday will be from 3 to 8 visitation, and that is on Spring Road in Elmhurst. So just information.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move down to the trustees report. We'll start on my right, Trustee Patrick.
Thank you. I do have a few things. First of all, I would like to mention that Salt Creek School District 48's FTC on December 7th of this year will be holding their Winter Palooza. Winterpalooza is open to everybody in the community and will entertain food, crafts, games, raffles, and a silent auction. Currently, they are looking for donors to donate to the silent auction. If you would like to donate or have any idea of anybody that would, you could contact me directly. The email is trusteepatrick@invillapark.com. For more information. But again, Winterpalooza at Salt Creek District 48 is December 7th, 2019. Next, I think it's important to mention that recently Elmhurst Memorial Hospital had recognized our very own Villa Park Fire Department for an achievement that they happened in April. And first of all, I'll just read off the memo that they had here. It says, "Congratulations to the Villa Park Fire Department, recipients of our Emergency Medical Services Run of the Month Award for April of 2019. On April 24th, Villa Park Fire Department personnel were dispatched to a residence with a report of a tree trimmer who had been electrocuted and gone into cardiac arrest and had severe burns on his hands and upper left leg. Upon arrival, paramedics found the patient on the ground, pulseless and not breathing. With his coworker performing CPR, the crew began advanced cardiovascular life support, and within a few minutes, the 37-year-old male patient had a pulse and was breathing on his own. The crew transported the patient to Elmhurst Hospital Emergency Department, and he was later transferred to Loyola University Medical Center's burn unit. Due in part to the exceptional care the patient received in the field, he walked out of the hospital a few days later and continued receiving therapy for his injuries." So I think this is a major accomplishment, a good shout out to our Villa Park Fire Department, even though this happened in April of 2019 and getting recognized just recently. But I would like to give you guys a hand and say job well done. So thank you. Lastly, on a bit of a personal note, late last night my grandmother, Jeanette Whitwer, passed away in her sleep. She was 90 years old. She's a long-term resident of Villa Park, lived in Villa Park for over 50 plus years, part of the Civilian Air Patrol. She spent a lot of time at McDonald's, at Cuppy's, at Funky Java in the mornings and such. But she was my grandma. I love her to death. We're going to miss her. Her services will be held at Sturley's Funeral Home on Wednesday from 10 to 12. Her name is Jeanette Whitwer. Many of you knew her. So I just want to say that with this, cherish the ones you love, because life is too short and you never know when your last day is. So with that being said, again, the funeral will be held at Sturley's Funeral Home Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Thank you.
Sorry to hear that. Trustee Sell.
No report this evening.
Trustee Kazone.
It's a couple things. Community Pride Commission is meeting tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock here in the COW room. Come on out and see all the good things. We had the report on the Pause on the Path from last weekend, and they did a great job. So if you're interested in what else is coming up tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And one other thing, with school in session now, I just like to put it out to all residents just to be careful driving down the streets, especially mornings and afternoons when the kids are out. My neighbor's son got hit by a car last Friday. Fortunately, his only injury was a broken toe, but especially streets like Ardmore and Jackson and getting by Jackson School, just be careful coming down there, stop at the stop signs, obey the speed limit, watch out for kids. I know we've talked to police and fire department about this, and they're out looking for it. So eventually, hopefully everybody gets the message and slows down and saves our kids out there. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, President Bolthus. I just have a couple things. First off, I wanted to thank the village for allowing me to go to the DuPage Mayors and Managers Innovation Awards dinner. It was quite interesting. The Elmhurst received an award, top award, and so did Schaumburg. And Elmhurst their project had to do with leak detection, and they have a unique system where they can detect some minute leaks and even give residents a report if their toilets are running. So it's pretty unique. And then Schaumburg had a license recognition software where they can drive through their commuter parking lot and saves them a lot of time. So I was really interested. I appreciate the opportunity of being able to go. Wanted to mention that over the weekend, I did the Elmhurst Quarry Tour, and it was quite interesting. It's really a fabulous project. This is something that former County Chair Jack Knupfer kind of pushed, and it's very visionary in what he did. And I remember at the time that there was a lot of opposition to the amount of money that would be spent, and but it turned out to be well worth it. And it's just a very, very interesting project. And come to find that Elmhurst had an area not related to the Salt Creek, but they had some overland flooding, and DuPage Stormwater let them divert some of their stormwater into the quarry as well. But a lot of interesting facets to that project. I wanted to let folks know that District 45 will have a Just for Fun 5K run, and this will be on October 5th. It starts, the run starts at 8:30, and I'm not fast enough to run there and make it to our goal-setting session, but probably the manager could. But I don't know if he wants to do that. But I would just encourage folks to come and, you don't have to run, you can walk, and it's $15, and I think it supports their foundation, so it's well worth it. And then, kind of lastly, I noticed that we had done some mosquito spraying, and I think we did it in cooperation with other communities, which I think is a great idea. Just one thing that I wanted to pass along, and I completely understand the spraying. Public health, public safety comes first. But the Clark Environmental does have some videos on public education to educate folks on how you can eliminate mosquitoes on your property. And also the DuPage County Health Department has a campaign. It's called Fight the Bite, and they have some interesting resources that maybe we could post this on our website as well. Doesn't deal just with mosquitoes, but it deals with ticks and Lyme disease, and I guess there's a kind of a big problem with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that spraying is necessary because we have West Nile, but I think public education can go hand in hand with that as well. So maybe for next season we can kind of put that on the forefront as well. And I just want to say I appreciate your resolution for DuPage, for Rail Safety Week. Very important. I know there's going to be a press conference in Elmhurst in relation to that. I think it's going to be Wednesday.
There's a thing downtown on
right.
next
That's
week.
just a reception.
Well, no, there's a meeting down on Friday.
Right. So the DuPage Rail Safety Council alternates year from year, so they'll do theirs next year.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I just appreciate your resolution, and that's all I had.
All right. Trustee Tucker?
I just want to thank all the residents for sending in their suggestions for Lufkin Park and encourage them to keep going. By all means, you can send them to me at my web thing, or send it to the Park and Rec Commissioners. They're very open to what's going on, and they're making a discussion right now on Lufkin Park and changes. So by all means, if you have some suggestions, keep sending them to us. We'd love to hear them on what you have envisioned for Lufkin Park. Being a Warner, I want to go Willowbrook for Saturday. But can't go into depth there. But being an alumni for the Warriors, I hope that game goes the right way.
Good. Okay, that's it? Trustee
That's it.
Murphy?
Just a couple of things. I'm going to throw a few add-ons to the Pause on the Path if I can. That was my first opportunity to attend. I was significantly impressed with the event and the number of people in attendance at the event. And I'm going to add that I thought the dogs had just a fabulous time romping in those little water pools. And the DJ played amazing music, so I would keep him on our recommended vendor list. Bob already hit on the mosquito abatement. I just wanted to thank whoever coordinated those spraying efforts, particularly because we recently had a case of West Niles that was diagnosed in Lombard. So it's timely and appreciated. And it sounds like President Bolthus is now saying 2 cases. Yeah. Okay, so it's close enough that we certainly appreciate any efforts that we can undertake to keep that under control. Thirdly, I believe recently I read, we've all been kind of attuned onto the television about the things that are happening relating to vaping, and I think it was just this week that I read Deb Conroy is getting actively involved in coordinating some efforts at a state level to review the regulations and get a little proactive perhaps with those. And it sounds like those will be starting toward the end of October. So I would anticipate at a state level from Illinois we'll be hearing more regarding vaping regulations toward end of October or early to mid-November.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay, I just have a couple things to give you all a heads up. Villa Avenue will be closed starting around October 21st at the Canadian National Railroad track. They're going to rebuild that crossing. That's the one that's just to the north of the bus parking lot. Take about a week, tentatively set for October 21st through to 28th. The warning signs or informational signs will be going up shortly on that. The other thing I just want to give you a future heads up on, if you haven't seen, the library is going to have their grand reopening on October 19th. So if you have time, stop by. I believe that goes from 10 to 1. So on the 19th, it'll be great. They're really going along now. It's looking really, really good. Again, a little reminder, Oktoberfest is this coming Saturday. Brewfest. We already did Oktoberfest. Okay, got it written down. So, you have an idea, Director, how many tickets have been sold so far? You should give us a little report on that. It goes from 1 o'clock if you buy the premium ticket till 5 or 2 to 5.
That's correct. We sold about 223 tickets as of this morning, and we always have a good walk-up, so we have to keep our fingers crossed on weather.
Supposed to be nice.
I'm hoping. They were calling for 30% chance of rain, but that's nothing. But we do have gold passes for sale. Those are $65, and that gets you into the event an hour earlier. And there's some VIP beers that they can taste. The general admission tickets are $47 until the day of, and then after that, they're $55.
Very good. Thank you.
We should have a good walk-up.
It's always well attended, and it's a good time. So.
And if I may, at this point, you know, we've talked about a couple of people passing away, and I just like to mention that our longtime senior supervisor, Jenny Cassell, had passed away last week after a long battle of cancer. Yeah. Jenny was with the village for over 20 years, valued employee, and staff did attend the wake and funeral services, and Jenny's daughter had mentioned that even 2 weeks before her passing, she was ready to come back to work. So she'll be sorely missed, and you know, rest in peace, Jenny.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A lot of depressing news today. So, another one, just for your information, we're scheduling on October 28th a board meeting at the Iowa Community Center at 7 o'clock. We're going to start that meeting with a discussion from the public and amongst the board members on cannabis. There's a lot of information that we put on our village website. If you want to go look at that, there's about a few hundred pages, I think it is, on there. Just go to the Village in Villa Park website, click on the government link on the top, and that'll bring you, and on the right-hand side, I think it is, it's cannabis information. So you click on that, and there's tons of information on there about cannabis. And we're going to have a little discussion before our regular board meeting on cannabis on the 28th at Iowa Community Center. Our next board meeting, though, is October 14th, right here in Village Hall, right here. So that's all I have. Manager Keener, do you have anything?
Yes, Your Honor, just one item. Just to remind everyone that the Kiwanis and Rotary Clubs of Villa Park are sponsoring a night golf outing at the Sugar Creek Golf Course on October 11th, and that's a Friday. So there'll be dinner before and then golf. The proceeds for the Kiwanis Club, if I'm not mistaken, will be used for scholarships for the Willowbrook High School seniors, ones that apply to the Kiwanis Club. The proceeds for the Rotary Club will be used to purchase shoes and boots for less fortunate students of School District 45. If you're interested in playing or sponsoring, you can give a call to my assistant, Kelly, at 630-592-6052. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, the next item is executive session. We'd like to have an executive session. It'd be for 5 ILCS 120/2, C1 personnel matters, C2 collective bargaining matters, C5 purchase and lease of property, C6 sale and lease of property, C11 pending litigation, and C21 discussion of closed session minutes. Do I have a motion for executive session? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Do I have a second? Trustee Patrick?
I'll second.
Okay. Well, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Stalella?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Volpus?
Yes. And with that, we'll be going into executive session. We will not be coming back. We'll be back here for a regular meeting, like I said, on October 14th at 7 o'clock.